Hello there, this is the Shadow Ranger. In this video, I'm going to answer some questions that were sent to me by one of my subscribers. I got a list of 5 questions from WWETNAROHGuy. He sent them to me to do as part of my next Q&A, but they were 5 pretty decent questions, mostly pertaining to Edge, and a couple of TNA questions. So I decided I'd just answer all 5 in its own separate video. Alright, question number 1, he asked, what do you think the next huge named wrestler is that's going to take Edge's spot on Smackdown? I don't see Christian taking Edge's spot. I feel like they're going to give Christian the world title now just for the feel-good moment because of how close friend he was with Edge, and how, having Edge there to present Christian with the title and raise his hand, and Edge is going out. Like, he's going to win the belt because Edge is retiring, not because WWE really wanted to make him champion. They've never really seen him as world champion material. Neither have I, really. But I don't think Christian's going to have the belt for long. I think he won't be that big star. I mean, a lot of people like Christian, but he's just not world title main event material, in my opinion. I see Del Rio getting that belt quickly, or they might just restructure and go with someone else for a while. Maybe put the belt back on Rey Mysterio. You could probably go with Undertaker for a little bit. I mean, that's always believable. I don't know. I've heard that there may not be a draft this year or something like that, but they might move someone over from Raw. Like, maybe want to do something new with Randy Orton, start refreshing his character a bit. I think Orton could benefit from a move to SmackDown for a little bit now. But outside of that, I could see Orton going to SmackDown. I could see Rey Mysterio moving back into that world title picture. Del Rio is most likely. If I had to put money on it, I'd go with Alberto Del Rio, because they've been building him up so big. You could always put the belt on Big Show for a while. He's always a believable champion. Same with Undertaker. Now I can see Undertaker getting the belt back quickly from Christian or Del Rio or something like that. Like I said, if Christian wins at Extreme Rules, because the match, you probably have read the spoilers, is going to be Christian versus Del Rio in a ladder match for the world title. I think Christian will win just to have the feel-good moment with Edge, but I don't see him holding the belt that long. I mean, the next new guy that's going to move up to that spot would be Del Rio. They might also bring back Undertaker or Big Show to put in the spot for a little while. Question 2. When the Immortal storyline is over, what do you think TNA will do for the next World Championship storyline? Once the Immortal storyline is over, it'll take a while before they kick off some brand new overarching story. Overarching storyline, like a big, huge main storyline. No, TNA usually does that. Have one big main storyline that's sort of the overarching thing, and then secondary storylines coming from it. I think they're gonna wait a while after the Immortal storyline before they start a new one. I don't think there's gonna be a big storyline around the world title for a couple months after the Immortal storyline finishes. They're gonna wait a little while. It'll just be guys saying, I want the world title and I want to go after the champion, whoever the champion is. I said before, the way I'd end the storyline, AJ Styles will be champion at the end of the Immortal storyline. They may go with someone different, but it's gonna be a while before another big storyline comes up that takes over the whole company. Because you gotta look at where they go with Dixie. Immortal was created to be destroyed. When this is over, Immortal will be defeated and Dixie will have control to come hit back. So the question is, where does Dixie go? Do they do something with her as a character in the future? Do they take her off TV and have a new GM? Well, on TNA they call them Director of Authority back in the day. So then she may put in a new Director of Authority to run things. I don't think they're going to do another big main overarching storyline. I think they'll just have a simple feud. One guy will be the champion, and they'll just have guys saying, I want to be world champion, I want to be world champion. It'll just be very simple title programs for a little while. Um, do you think Edge? Question 3. Do you think Edge will go to TNA at all as like a manager or a commentator or part owner with Hogan and Bischoff? No. Edge has made a very good living working for the WWE. He's a guy who I feel is loyal to the WWE. And really, what does he have to offer TNA that he there's nothing he can do in TNA that he can't do in WWE for more money. Okay, he's retiring because he can't wrestle. He can't wrestle in TNA. He cannot wrestle because he is no longer cleared to wrestle. He has serious injuries. So wrestling's out. If Edge can't wrestle, what good is he to TNA? I mean, I can't think of outside of wrestling, I can't think of a single thing that I would want to see Edge do in TNA if he can't wrestle. There's nobody in TNA I want to see him manage. There's no one I want to see. I don't think he has the talent to be a commentator. Edge will become an ambassador for the WWE. I don't see him managing that much because I don't think he'd be really good at it. And plus, WWE really doesn't do managers anymore. I don't see him being a commentator because I don't think he has the voice skills to be an effective commentator. I mean, he cuts good promos, but there's a big difference between promo guy being able to cut a great promo and then being a good commentator. Not a whole lot of guys can do. You know, Booker T's still trying. He's not doing so hot yet, but he'll get better with practice. You know, JBL was fantastic. Once JBL got into the groove of commentating, he became great. And he was a great promo guy when he wrestled, and he was a great commentator. I don't see Edge being able to do that. But he won't do anything with TNA. He has no reason to. He has made his name famous in the WWE. He is all known from the WWE. They've treated him very well. And he's always been loyal. And again, anything he can get paid to do in TNA, he'll get paid more to do in the WWE. Do you think Adam Pearce and Colt Cabana will ever go to TNA? Holy God, I would love to see Adam Pearce in TNA. I like Colt Cabana too. I think he'd be cool on the TNA roster, but Adam Pearce is just so amazing. But Adam Pearce actually may be retiring now. He suffered some neck injuries recently. And he's been updating on Twitter that, you know, he's been getting checked out, and the last update he said about his health status, his neck status, was that the last news he got was some good news, but he hasn't said anything definite as far as where his career goes. But he may have to stop wrestling soon because of a neck injury. I'm hoping it's not serious. And I listened to an interview not long ago. He said that there was some talk of him coming into TNA a couple years ago. I would love to see Scrap Out Adam Pearce come to TNA. I'd love to see him be managed by Ric Flair as part of like a new stable. You don't need Fortune. You don't have to come up with a stupid name. But, you know, Adam Pearce there, maybe Gunner and Murphy with Flair as a team, or a couple other newer faces paired up with Flair. Him managing them as a stable. Call it Nature Boy Inc. Nature Boy Incorporated or something like that. Or Nature Boy Enterprises. That's it. Nature Boy Enterprises. Like a stable of guys, of heels managed by Ric Flair. You can do some really good stuff with. I would absolutely love to see Adam Pearce come to TNA. If anybody at TNA saw the stuff they've been doing in NWA Hollywood, I think they would be on the radar. But of course, right now the TNA roster is very, very crowded, so I don't expect to see too many new people coming in until some people get cut. I mean, I said before, the last thing TNA needs is more male wrestlers. They do need some more women, but their male wrestler is stacked to the core. I mean, they're bursting at the seams with male wrestlers. I mean, there's guys, I hadn't seen Amazing Red and Jay Lethal on TV in a couple of months now. The last thing TNA needs is more male wrestlers, so some guys gonna have to get cut. You know, I'd say bye-bye to Devon, bye-bye to Tommy Dreamer, bye-bye to Rob Van Dam, bye-bye to Rob Terry, bye-bye to probably Murphy, although I keep Gunner. I like Gunner. He just got something that really that's really just does it for me. Probably be saying goodbye to Abyss. They gotta free up some space in TNA before they talk about bringing in somebody in. But Adam Pearce would be an awesome new heel to come in. Colt Cabana would be a very fun-loving baby face. He could do some great stuff in singles. Have a very a comedic tag team with Eric Young, and they could do some great stuff together. Will we see them in TNA? I can't say, but I think both guys would be very good additions to the TNA roster. Last question. Do you think with Edge gone, TNA has the chance to become bigger than WWE? Absolutely not. As I said before, I go in depth in this in a video I did called Request a Video Without Honor. A video without honor, I go very in depth. Money is a big thing that had to do with anybody trying to become bigger than WWE or as big as WWE. And what we've learned from the Edge, that also the scheduling thing. If you're going to try to be as big as WWE, you have to have a schedule on parts of WWE. You know, WWE, they're on the road 280 to 300 days a year. They're doing shows almost every day, shows after shows after shows. You know, and that takes a toll on guys' bodies. They don't get a whole lot of time to rest. You know, that's one big thing. You talk about the health of wrestlers where TNA has an advantage over WWE. TNA has a much lighter schedule. That means they don't make as much money as WWE, but it's a lot easier on the wrestlers. You rarely hear about TNA wrestlers having any type of serious injury. It's very rare that you hear about a TNA guy having a serious injury. I mean, you know, you take two guys who've been in TNA since day one. AJ Styles and James Storm have been in TNA since the very first day back in 2002. How many serious injuries does either of those guys have? I mean, I can't recall James Storm ever missing time due to injury. And the only injuries I can ever recall AJ Styles ever having was a couple months ago he had a hip injury, which he didn't even get wrestling. He hurt himself playing with his kids at home. So he didn't get hurt again. He didn't get hurt wrestling. He hurt himself playing with his kids at home. That's the only serious injury I ever recall him ever having, where he had to miss time in the ring. An injury he got playing with his kids at home. I think he hurt his hip or something a couple months ago. Remember when he was supposed to be on the pay-per-view and challenge Doug Williamson for the TV title, and then the Abyss was to stand in and beat Doug Williams for the title and stuff. And then I think once last year he broke his finger. You know, why don't the TNA guys you ever hear about the TNA guys getting so injured? They have a much lighter schedule. They have a lot of time to rest in between shows. You know TNA they do Impact tapings, and then they do house shows on Thursday, Fridays, and Saturday. So on a week where they're not taping, they work 3 nights a week. You know, unless they're doing some indie shows outside of TNA. But they have TNA is a very light schedule, and that's part of the reason why those guys will be able to wrestle for a lot longer than a lot of WWE guys. You know, Kurt Angle added years to his career by going to TNA. You know, he got off the drugs, he got off the steroids, he's become a lot smaller, and he's added years to his career by leaving WWE and going to TNA that much lighter schedule. That's why a guy like Sting can be in TNA and not in WWE. He can do a TNA schedule. Sting works 5 days a month. Sting does TV shows and TV tapings and pay-per-views 5 days a month, man. You know, that's a good thing you have. If you gonna be on parts of WWE, you gotta have a WWE schedule. You gotta have your guys on the road doing shows 280 to 300 days a year. You know, you need the money to compete with their marketing machine. One guy isn't gonna make a change. I mean, WWE could lose Edge, John Cena, and Randy Orton. That still doesn't mean that TNA is going to be able to overtake them. It might get some people. It might cause some people to lose interest in WWE for a little while, but they'll build a new star and get all those people back within a year or two. They're very good at building guys up in WWE. The only thing that's going to help TNA start to overtake WWE, they have to get more awareness. They have to advertise their product more, and they have to have a good product. I personally enjoy the TNA product. A lot of people don't. You have to have something that's going to appeal to a lot of people. You know, Edge not being on Smackdown, it's going to hurt the show for a few people. There are some people who may not be as interested in Smackdown. they might be willing to give some another shot. But again, the only thing that's going to help TNA grow bigger as compared to WWE, they got to have money, they have to market and get more awareness. Same with Ring of Honor. Money is what you need to compete with WWE more than anything. Alright. So those are all 5 of the questions I got from WWE TNA ROH Guy. They were very good questions and I enjoyed answering them. And heck, I actually managed to keep this video under 20 minutes. Okay, this is the Shadow Ranger. Thank you for listening. Nah, I don't need to plug anything yet. Just like my videos, please subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at TJSMITH3. Have a nice day.